My name is Jessica Mathis. I'm from Mixed Greens, Savannah, and Rev Up, Georgia, and we're here to do a presentation on the Educational Special Purpose Local Option Tax, which is Esplost. And I went to a presentation with Miss Angel Dengardi, the executive director of Living Independence for Everyone, which is a local organization in Savannah. And they had a presentation on local legislative advocacy and how to do legislative advocacy. And one of the things that she talked about was that all issues are local. All advocacy is local. It starts on a local level. So the reason why I wanted to talk about Esplost, because on March the 18th, Georgia, some cities in Georgia, including Chatham County, Muskogee County, and Roxdale, just to name a few, will be having an election on the Esplost tax. Now, you might wonder what the Esplost tax is. The Esplost tax, or the Educational Special Purpose Local Tax, options tax, is a recall on it controls the purchases that you make in schools, stores, and things like that. Now, an example of the Esplost tax would be like saying the back to school tax, flat tax. We use the Esplost tax to pay for things that are related to education. It is approved by the voting residents in the local area, and it is considered a local referendum that we vote on in a minimum of 3 to 5 years. So you ask, how does Esplost work? Well, after it is voted upon by the residents of the communities, such as Savannah and Fulton County districts, school districts receive money from the economic bonds, and the economic bonds are basically ways for them to return the tax. Basically, what that's saying is that the state gives the local school districts money to pay for their school, buildings and technology and things like that. And then they excuse me, they tax us to pay the state and the government back to pay the money for the school districts. And Esplost is used to pay for school buildings, school buses, technology, anything that is related to the school systems. And I would like to stop here and say of how that it is important to people with disabilities. Now, you may think that Esplost is just for people that go to school, but they also use some of that tax funding for children with disabilities to help them with services, assistive technology, and things of that nature. They have to be able to provide every child equal education. Esplost is one of the ways that they do that. So this is why I brought it forth to talk about it today, because a lot of people don't even know what Esplost is used for. And it's a very important be a very important referendum that is renewed every 3 to 5 years. So if you get out and you get to vote, please go and say yes to this bill. And I just want to tell you to support the bill as much as you can. You can make, you know, whatever decision you need to, but please look into it, find out what it is. As I was doing my research, like I said, I found out that it impacts 4 other different counties as well. Like I said, it affects Muskogee, Monroe, and Roxdale County and Fulton County. So at the bottom of it, um, the last part of this that I'm going to talk about is the counties and the last time that they voted on it. Bryan County voted on the East Block tax in 2024. Chatham County voted on the East Block tax in 2024. Glenn County voted on 2024. All of the counties mentioned um, voted on the bill in 2024. It is coming up for another renewal, and then at the end of the time, it will they will consider it and keep considering it for renewal. To find out information on these things, I have informational links at the bottom. Does anybody have any questions, any concerns that they would like to bring up? Angel?
I don't think so. I think everybody, the big question is what's it going to cost?
Well, that's the big question too, because I mean that's why they call it the penny tax, because I've been talking to my neighbors about it, and they say that it keeps going up. The penny tax keeps going up. They keep charging us more and more money. So, I don't know at what point they're going to have a cap, or if they do have a limit on how much they can bring up the East Block bills. Does anybody else have any more questions? We're now going to take it to Tyree Tyree Morant to present about Rideshare to Vote. Before we begin with Rideshare to Vote, I would like to say that Rideshare to Vote is founded by Sarah Kovich and her daughter Paula Kovich. Rideshare to Vote is an accessible way for people with disabilities to get rides to the polls. And we need to get rides to the poll and vote on every bill and have something to say about each bill that comes before us. So Rideshare to Vote is helping people to get rides to the polls. And I have been on the ground working with them, trying to raise funds, trying to make sure people have rides to the polls. And they have been a great service, and I would like to be able to get it out to more people.
Thank you so much,
So,
Stephanie.
Mr. Tyree, Miss Zoe, you can present.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Yes, my name is Zoe. I am from Rideshare to Vote Aware with my colleague Tyree. First of all, thank you so much for having us here today, Jessica. We have loved working with you. As you know, we've done great work together, and we're so honored that you invited us to speak at this event because we believe, as you do, that it is such an important election, and we want to make sure that everyone is able to have their voices heard. So let's dive in a little bit to, Rideshare to Vote Aware, our history, and what we do. Tyree, the next slide, please. Thank you. All right. So, we are an organization that started in early 2018 when our co-founder, Paula Kovich, joined a congressional campaign in Dallas, Texas. And while she was working for that campaign, she really began to become aware of voting barriers that prevent voters from getting to the polls. And this experience sparked the idea for Rideshare to Vote. And then she wound up further exploring that idea with our other co-founder and her mother, Sarah Kovich. And together, their research revealed that transportation played a crucial role in Doug Jones's Senate win, with Alabama's Souls to the Polls. They were afforded a lot of the credit. They were credited with that Senate win. So at the same time, ride sharing in the United States was really gaining momentum. This was just 2 years before Uber really went public. And we really have thrown ourselves into the effort since then. We've grown a lot on the past, 5, 6 years, and our mission is to make voting easier by removing what we call friction points to voting for registered voters. Because our vision at the end of the day is to counteract voter suppression by significantly increasing voter turnout among registered voters through Rideshare to Vote Aware on, a national scale. We're doing this all throughout the country. Next slide, please, Tyree. Thank you. So, many Americans don't really realize how much external factors like childcare and finances and work schedules and transportation impact voter turnout, and it winds up holding a lot of people back from getting to the polls. In fact, USC News calls these friction factors, such as those, conflicting work hours or distant polling places, and basically anything that makes voting harder. So what Rideshare to Vote Aware does is really help reduce that friction, because we acknowledge that, ignoring these obstacles to voting can have serious consequences for the entire country because people are not able to get to the polls for crucial elections like this. So our flagship program, Ride to Vote, it targets low propensity and non-voting voters, it super easy for them to schedule rides through multiple channels. And as the nation's only year-round voter mobilization and transport program, Ride to Vote operated in 17 states in 2024. That was our largest transport ever yet, and we're looking forward to expanding and growing over the course of the coming years. And we're thrilled to be able to continue working with Mixed Greens to provide wheelchair accessible van rides to those in Chatham County for this election and all future elections beyond in 2025. The next slide, we can go over how to book a ride, or the next one, we can go over how to book a ride. Tyree, when you get a chance. We've got a little QR code to kind of go over, where you're able to book a ride and get to the polls. So there's a few ways that you can get in contact with us, whatever works best with you. You can give us a call at this number listed on the presentation, 888-858-3421. You could also scan this QR code on the screen or visit this website. The link is also right there on the slides. So no matter which one you choose, any of them are fine. You'll be able to get in contact with us and schedule your free round trip ride to vote. So basically how that will look like is all you got to do is schedule that ride and we'll take care of everything else. You can let us know when you'd like to go, any additional information, where you'd like to get picked up, and we'll take care of everything. We'll have one of our trained drivers come to pick you up, take you to the polls, wait with you while you vote, and bring you back home afterwards. It's all completely free of charge. We just want to make it so that you can take care of the vote, we'll take care of the ride and everything else. We just want to make sure that every single voter across the country is able to vote in every single election, no matter how small. We always want to make sure that you're able to cast your ballot, because it's really, really important, in inspiring real and lasting change in communities across the country. So if anyone ever has any questions about this, on the next slide, you'll see my email. Tyree, if you could pull that up, thank you. You can go ahead and email me at the email on the screen, or call us at that number, the same from the other slide, or visit us online at rideshare2voteaware.org. You can read a little bit more about us. And if you have any questions, give us a call at that number or email me anytime, and I'll be happy to get back to you, and make sure that no voter is unable to cast their ballot because of transportation barriers that prevent them from voting. We are always here to make sure that your voice is heard. Thank you again, Jessica, for having us today. We're so excited to be able to continue our partnership with you. And I'll pass it back to you for any closing remarks. But thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you, Angel. Angel or Mr. Tyrone, did y'all have any questions? Anything that you would like to add?
No questions. I'm just excited. This is a great opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Yep. No
Yes,
question.
I hope I did well on the present on the Esplost part. I'll be sending this out to everyone that didn't show up, and I'll have it on the Mixed Greens YouTube page.
Wonderful. This was great. Thank you, Jessica. Your section was amazing and it was so informative. So thank you for sharing that with us. And we're so grateful that we
Yes,
were come today. Thank you for inviting us.
thank you.